Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live. Today's Wednesday, August 5th, 2020. We again find ourselves in the final hour of the trading day. This is my favorite time of the day in the final hour, and particularly in the last few minutes, to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades. At the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions come in. They are dealing with the most money, very smart people, best information, best technology. And at the end of the day, they start making their decisions primarily. And during the day, you have the algorithms, you have the day traders. They are controlling it. During the day, the large financial institutions come in and take the control of the price away from the day traders and the algorithms. So I consider them smart money, and I like to make my buying and selling decisions based upon what they are doing. So thank you all for coming today. It's nice to have you here. I always look forward to it. We have such a great group, and great poems, great insight, and just a good community. So I appreciate you spending the time to come here every day. I really do, and I hope it's helping you. Mohammed is here. Hey Mohammed, good to see you. Hope you're having a good evening tonight in Egypt. Always nice to see you. Hope you're having a good day and evening. Bob is here. Hi, good to see you, Bob. Good day, everyone. Brian M. Hello, everyone. Hello, Brian. Good to see you. Kamal is here. Hey, buddy. Good chatting with you today. Thank you for sending the results of the scan today. So, big day today. Dow Jones is up 326.26 points, up 1.22%. The NASDAQ is up 53 points, up 0.49%. So NASDAQ is lagging today, and the S&P is up 20 points, up 6.62%. And the IWM is up 1.73%. So that is the winner on the day. So, yeah, interesting day. You know, I think the market is anticipating some type of another stimulus bill. We shall see. We shall see if we get it, and then be interesting to see what happens to the market when we do actually get it as well. Frank is here. Hey, Frank, how you doing? What's going on? Did you weather the storm? I was thinking about you last night and hoping that you were doing okay. You and Gary, because I know you both got hit by it. So thank you for coming, sir. Appreciate it. All right, so we have a lot to get through today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back. We're going to take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. I have had a handful of day trades today. I'll be showing you those, show you why I took them. After that, some of you have been kind enough to share your trades with me. We're going to go over those and take a look, see how those are doing. We're going to switch gears then, talk a little bit about trader psychology, trader philosophy, good trading words of wisdom, get away from technicals for a minute, and talk about the emotional side of trading, the discipline side of trading, which in my opinion is the most important part of trading. It's a skill, and it's the greatest skill that you can learn in trading. I honestly believe that. After that, I've gone down through my watch list. I've also gone down through Kamal's list from his scan. So we'll be going through those. I do have 3 requirements before I enter any trade. First requirement, want to make sure I have a combination or confluence of indicators lining up. I look at each indicator as a group of buyers. You're going to put yourself in the position to drastically improve the chance of having a profitable trade if you're within in the company with as many other groups of buyers. And the way that I try to achieve that is by looking at each indicator as a group of buyers, and when I see 2, 3, 4 lining up, I look at it as multiple groups of buyers, which, like I just said, that is what, in my opinion, will help you improve your odds of having a good trade. Number 2, even if you have a good confluence of indicators, you need to make sure that you have a good risk-reward ratio based upon valid support below you, based upon valid and likely resistance above you. If I'm willing to lose $100 in trade, I want to be able to make $200 or more to the upside. It's very important. And number 3, especially in this market right now, please take a moment and look at how many positions you have, how correlated they are, It's all fun and games and rainbows and Skittles when everything is going up, but if you find yourself with too many positions and the market turns on a dime like it can, you're going to wish that you had given a little bit of thought to correlation and number of positions and account heat. So please keep that in mind. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that during the psychology section. So I'm going to go down through the list that I just mentioned. I'm going to go through, find some decent candidates, take those decent candidates, go through it with a fine-tooth comb at the end of the day, and hopefully come up with the very best one, keeping in mind combination confluence of indicators, risk to reward, and very important now, correlation and account heat. Okay, then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, please let me know. If you need any clarification on anything, please let me know. I'm happy to answer. If there's any stock symbols you'd like me to look at before after the market closes, please put them in. I'm happy to give you my humble opinion. If there's any stock symbols that you think would be important for me to look at before the market closes and you'd like my opinion, just go ahead, put a star or an asterisk by it so I know it's time sensitive. And then if you could be so kind, if you have any new entries today or exits today, if you could please wait till the end of the market after it's closed before you tell me. The hour goes by really quick, and if I do those updates during the day, it kind of gets me off track and we kind of waste time during the open market. All right, so I'm happy to do it. Take as long as you need, but after the market closes. All right, so that's the plan for today, everybody. Sound good? I'm going to run that U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, Dan says, hi Greg and group. I think I got over my chart Keltner channels on Thinkorswim not matching Greg's. I think it was like a student wanting cheap musical instruments to sound like Eddie Van Halen. Well, I think the Keltner channels on Thinkorswim are pretty good. I have quite a few clients that use them, Dan. Is that what you're mentioning? I like the Eddie Van Halen reference. Are you saying that your Keltner channels don't look that good on Thinkorswim? Hey David, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming. Evan is here. Good afternoon. Hello. Good to see you, Evan. Frank has a poem for us. Oh, hurricane related. A hurricane brings heavy rain, inflicts its pain, and even has a name. But can your stocks perform in a storm? Will you fret with no internet? You may be ready, willing, and able, but how quickly things change without your cable. Oh man, look at that. Not only a great poem, but relevant to current events. One more time. A hurricane brings heavy rain, inflicts its pain, and even has a name. But can your stocks perform in a storm? Will you fret with no internet? You may be ready, willing, and able, but how quickly things without your cable. How quickly things change without your cable. Could you use your phone, Frank, in case you needed a hotspot? I have run into that where my internet was down, and it's not a good feeling. It's always a good idea to have a little backup plan, maybe with your phone or something, a backup for your connection. Really good, Frank. Thank you. Really good. Okay, let's get going here. We've got a lot to get through today. Gary, Brian, and myself, we did buy Domino's Pizza yesterday. It is up a little bit today. Nothing fantastic, but I'm happy anytime it's up. I bought it here We had a 520 cross. We had a V1 prior. We came down, held the halfway. We bounced off the 50. We went under 50, over 50 RSI. Bought it here at 391.76, and right now it's 393.30. No profit targets today, but profitable. J&J. All right, Frank, Gary, David, Bob, and myself did buy J&J on this return to value trade with the V2 and a false breakout to the downside. Bought it here at 147.39. Yesterday, went right down, tested our stop, bounced off it, which was a good sign. Today, gapped up nicely. I did hit 2 profit targets, and I got some positive slippage. It shows 1 profit target here, 1 here, but really what it looks like is this, because I got 1 at the open that was down here, and then I got a second one right at the top, within a few cents of the high. I don't like what this is doing today. I don't like that we pegged the 1 ATR channel, and now, even though it's still up on the day, it is closed below the low. So those 2 things right there, with the rejection of the 1 ATR channel and the close below the open, this is a bearish candle. Very likely I'm going to just get rid of this today and lock in profits, and glad that I hit a couple profit targets up there. Stitch Fix. Kamal and Gary and I bought this back on the 3rd. Rejection of the 200, rejection of the negative 3rd ATR channel, rejection of the 200-day moving average, and a V1. Bought it at 22.56 yesterday. I did hit 1 profit target. It is slightly positive, as slightly as you can get. 1 penny today, only up 0.04%. I think I'll probably keep this. Although I don't like how it's underperforming the market, but it didn't close below the previous day's low, so I'll just have to see what this looks like at the end of the day. SPY. All right, real quick, I do buy the SPY every day at the close of the market. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I sell it first thing the next morning. This is based upon a back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest since 1993. 2 different approaches they tested. First one, buy the SPY at the open, hold through the day, sell the same day at the close. If you did this every day since 1993, you'd return a negative 13.9% return for all your trouble. However, if you do the opposite, which was what I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk. That's where I feel the edge is in this approach. Sell first thing, then the next morning, you would have made 634.2%. So big difference between negative 13.9 and positive 634.2. Past performance, no guarantee of future results, does not mean it's going to work in the future. All it means, it has worked in the past and it's done well. Blue lines, buy at the close, sell the next morning. Orange lines, buy in the morning, sell the close. You can see there's huge difference. Over time, all it has done is gone up, although there have been significant drawdowns. So if you're considering using this approach, please make sure it's with a conservative, small position size so that you can weather these drawdowns like this and it won't negatively affect you. I look at this literally as a long-term trade. Okay, I did buy SPY yesterday at 330.06. Sold it this morning at the open at 331.46. So sold at 330.06, sold at 331.46. So nice little trade. We'll be buying this again, as always, at the end of the day. JCOM, let's see. Kamal, Brian, and myself are in JCOM. We bought back here on the 29th of July. A lot of confluence and signals here. Double bottom with a bullish divergence. Here we have a low, deep MACD bars. We rally, we come lower. Even though we're lower, there are no red bars. This is a double bottom with a bullish divergence. V1, bullish engulfing bar, under 30, over 30, and this has been a monster trade. This has been a really, really nice trade. All it has done is gone up. I did hit 1 profit target today at 59.91. It did reject the 50 RSI. Right now it's 47.80. It was over 50. So I will be exiting this trade today if it closes below 50 RSI. And currently it's up 6.92%. Adobe. All right, David, Kamal, and I bought Adobe back on the 30th of July. higher low V1, false breakout to the downside, 520 cross, bought it at 438.89. It has moved up nicely since then. I did get one profit target right at the high. Let's see, the high was 454.03 and I got it at 453.98. It has moved more than one ATR for my entry, so now I go into trailing stop mode. But so far, really good trade there. Apple. All right, day trades now. First day trade was a loser. We had a higher low V2. I did not wait for the confirmation. I bought it intra-bar when the V2 triggered here. Here's bar 1, 2, 3, bar 2, washed out bar 1. I bought it here when it triggered at 438.19, but at the end of the bar, it untriggered. So I got in at 438.19. I got out at 438.04 for a small loss, which is okay, right? But this one was a losing trade. But not bad. But not bad at all. Okay. Over to my fractal chart. Here was my fractal trade, 5 minutes again. You can see the red, blue, and green lines, the alligator. Here it was sleeping, all intertwined. The trade here is if you take out a fractal, here's a fractal with two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. I got in when it triggered the fractal at 438.94. I got out 10 minutes later when it rejected the third ATR channel, 441.13. So I got in at 438.94 and I got out at 441.13, which was just about the right place because then it just went down and down and down from there. Let's see, that's all I had on Apple, right? But that was yep, all I have there. Goldman Sachs, let me take you over. I'm dealing with two charts here. First Goldman Sachs trade, I shorted this lower high V2. I shorted it at 204.35. Move sideways, move sideways. We had a big kind of dump bar where it went under 50 and closed back over 50. So I shorted it at 204.35 and I got out at 204.13. Then I looked for a long position. Here was my long. We had a V1 bullish engulfing bar, rejected the negative third ATR channel, closed back over the 50-day moving average. I got in at, or 50 moving average, I got in at 203.47. It took off nicely for me, got up here, rejected, and closed here. So it was profitable, but nothing to write home about. I got in at 203.47 and I got out at 203.58. So that wasn't the best trade of all time, but I did have a nice trade on Goldman right here. Here we're back over to the fractal chart. Alligator is sleeping, intertwined. Here's the high of the fractal. Two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. I got in on this bar when it triggered the fractal. I got in at 203.90, and this one just took right off, went above the 70. This bar closed below the 70. So I got in at 203.90, and I got out at 204.39. So pretty good trade there as well. Okay. Those are my trades. Let's take a look at everybody else's trades. Now we got a bunch of these. I'm going to have to go through kind of fast because, ooh, here we go. What am I doing? Bob, look at Bob. What a great trade. He took the V2 false breakout to the downside on Nordstrom, bought at 14.21. Right now it is 15.63, up 7.42% just today. Looks like it's over the 50 RSI. So congratulations, Bob. That's fantastic. Cisco, Evan did buy Cisco here at 46.97 with the V2. Is down a little bit today, but still up on the trade. Carmax, Steve and Bob did buy Carmax here at 94.90 with the 520 crossover. It is 100.23, so this is a fantastic trade. I'll just let you know, got as high as about 66.77 RSI, so very nice trade there. PayPal, Bob and Brian bought PayPal back here, higher low V2, 174.01. It is 203.41. Beautiful trade. IWM, Steve bought IWM, 1030 crossover, 146.16, and it is now 153.57, up 1.81% today. So congratulations, Steve. Beyond Meat, okay, so Quad bought this yesterday. I was going to buy this, and Steve was nice enough to let me know that there were earnings. My charts were off, and down 7% today. Dang, sorry, Quad. Good lesson for both of us, even though my chart said earning to double check, right? Gold. Gary bought gold at 162.80 with the 520 crossover. It is now 191.79. Beautiful trade. WBA, Karen and Quad bought WBA at 40.69. It's at 40.75, so just about break even on this trade. I also took this trade, but I got out here because it wasn't doing anything, and I just used a time stop. Procter and Gamble, Brian did buy Procter and Gamble here at 128.30. It is now 133.41, down a little bit today, but fantastic trade. AMD, Brian also bought AMD at $60 even. It is $85 right now, 85.17. So that's a monster trade. Frank did buy ServiceNow at 426.32. It is 437.65. So that's up nicely as well. XPO, Brian bought XPO in front of earnings, and this was one that did not work out. It went down. I mean, it really sold off after earnings. One of the perils of buying in front of earnings. Sometimes it can really go your way, other times not. This is down 1.17% today. Brian bought Facebook at 235 and 242.98. It is 249.08, nicely up. Amazon having a good day. Brian bought Amazon here at 30.57. It is now 32.05.06, and GM bought some calls, so it's going to have to. This expires 8/21/3400. So there's definitely a chance there. LCII. Glenn did buy LCII at 127.04. Hey everybody, give me 1 second. Sorry. Sorry, that was a city worker. They're turning my water off for about an hour and a half. That's a bummer. Good thing I filled up my water bottle already. Okay, so Glenn bought LCI here at 127.04. It is 126.97, so down just a little bit. Glenn also bought CENT at 39.02. It's at 39.94. Still up, down a little today, but still up. TTD. Brian bought here 456, up 3% today. Fantastic. Brian also bought SHW 648.69 at 654.51. Brian bought Microsoft here at 214.84. It is 212.69, so down just a little bit. RBA, Glenn had a nice trade here at 44.60. It is now 48.17. Berkshire Hathaway on fire. Brian bought Berkshire Hathaway at 190.49. It is now 203.92, up 1.8% today. Billy, Quad Racer, Kamal, and I bought Billy back here, 43.51. I got out here. I didn't like how it rejected the 1 ATR channel, but it is up today, so that's a very nice trade. DRI. Bob bought DRI here at 76.50 and down 1.74% today. So it took the V2. If I was in this trade, I'd get out if it closed below halfway of this washout bar. Costco, Glenn bought at 330 with the breakout. It's at 338, so that's doing very well. FEYE, Brian bought at 1544. It's 1534, so just down about 10 cents. Work, Kamal did buy work at 29.45, and it's at 30.02, down 1.7% today, but still up nicely. And lastly, Google. Kamal did sell bullish credit spreads yesterday. He sold the 1470, 1460s expiring at the end of the week. So as long as it stays above 1470, he will make his money. His stop is a close below the 50. Sorry, I know I had to rush through those, but I've never seen so many. I've never seen so many positions on the board here. So, all right. So, listen, before we get taking a look at potential new trades today, before I go through the watch list, looking for three things: confluence combination of signals, good risk to reward ratio, and definitely keeping in mind account or position correlation, account heat. Before we do that, I just want to switch gears, talk a little bit about trader psychology. There's some really good Facebook and Twitter channels out there that do a great job every day of posting good words of wisdom, really good information, worth their weight in gold if you just read them and internalize them. This is from Scott Trades. I've done a few from Scott lately. Scott Trades, at Scott Trades on Twitter. I was fortunate enough to have a nice Skype call with Scott to get to know him a little bit better. Really nice guy, great educator. You should really subscribe to his channel, at Scott Trades. Read his stuff. He trades differently than I do. He likes to buy breakouts from long bases, which is just great. That works as well, right? We always want to kind of match our personality with our trading, and that's what Scott does. I do a little bit different. Doesn't mean one's better, one's worse, right? There's a lot of different ways to make money in this market. Let's see what Scott has to say here. Excuse me. Don't confuse intelligence with a bull market. Be grateful for every gain. The tables can turn on a dime. And this was what I was discussing earlier. The market's been up. It's been a one-way elevator up. It's fun to make money. It's great. But please keep in mind, the tables can turn on a dime, and don't confuse intelligence with the bull market. Just make sure you have a good setup. Make sure your position is sized correctly. Make sure you adhere to your stops, either to the downside or your profit targets to the upside. But I guess the main point here, don't get complacent. Don't get complacent when you've been in a really nice uptrend. And not saying that you're not intelligent. I'm sure you're very intelligent, but human nature is when things get kind of easy, we tend to slack a little bit and maybe we want to keep our guard up, and we don't want to get lackadaisical and get a case of the lazies, right? So don't confuse intelligence with the bull market. Be grateful for every gain. This is very true, and the tables can turn on a dime. And where we are right now, technically, that certainly could happen. So please subscribe at Scott Trades, or just Scott Trades on Twitter, but really good guy, and I think it's worth your while to follow him. So thank you, Scott, and it was nice chatting with you. Okay, sorry, I know I've been in like turbo mode here today. Frank says, even phone trouble. Oh, interesting. Dan says, I use the Keltner channels, though they don't match yours exactly, and it's okay. Even a cheap guitar can make some fun music. I compare Jesse's version to mine, still useful. I compared Jesse's version to mine. Still useful. Well, Dan, if you send me an email, I can send you the links so you can set yours up like Jesse's. I don't know if I've already done that or not. Now I can't remember. Ugh. Anyway, if I haven't, let me know. Steve Burns says, nice JCOM trade continues. Congrats to everyone in that. Thank you, Steve. Nice seeing you, my friend, and congratulations to you. You're having some really, really good trades here today, I see. Always an honor and a privilege to have you in here, Steve, and thank you again for yesterday for pointing out on the Beyond Meat trade. My charts were wrong, and it's just a good lesson for me to, even though it says something on my charts, to confirm. So great trades today, Steve. Although JCOM is on the chopping block for me today because we rejected the 50 RSI and currently we've closed below it. So that will be my signal to take the trade off. So let me just take a quick look at current positions. Domino's Pizza up slightly today. Not anything big, but happy to be up. No reason to get out of this. J&J. I will be getting out of Johnson & Johnson today. I just don't like this big gap up reversal loss of the one ATR channel. So Johnson & Johnson is definitely going to be on the chopping block for me. Stitch Fix up a bit today. It's fine. I think I'll keep it unless it does something crazy or goes negative or something. SPY, of course, had the nice overnight SPY trade. We'll be selling that again at the close. We'll be buying that again at the close. JCOM, I also discussed, that is also on the chopping block. So Johnson & Johnson and JCOM are off the table. Oh, I forgot to go over fast, didn't I? Steve, Frank, Miko, Kamal, and I bought fast with the 520 crossover here at $33.99. Kamal bought it a little cheaper at $31.65. 520 crossover. Look at this. 2 profit targets today, up 4.02%. We're at a 60.87 RSI. We definitely have moved more than one ATR for my entry. So if I get a close below the previous day's low, because this is a crossover trade, I will sell half my position. But up nicely today. Congratulations, Steve, Frank, Miko, Kamal, and myself. And then Adobe, like I said, I did hit one profit target on Adobe, and that one's fine. Glenn says DE is looking good. Yeah, it's very, very strong. Just a little too high for me. I always hate to be a buzzkill. Listen, it doesn't mean you can't trade breakouts. Tons of people do it. It just doesn't resonate with my personality. But, you know, it's 71.65. Has gone above the 70, which is very good. It's right up here against the third ATR channel. So, look, that might just keep on moving along. It really might. Definitely, especially for, you know, breakout buyers. All right, let me take a look over here. Hey, I want to show you. I was up hiking a couple days ago, and this is what my hiking path looks like. And look at this guy right here with his little antlers. He was having a little snack, and I walked up behind him, and he looked back at me, and he's like, what's happening? But isn't that nice? That's one of the nice things of doing the walks every day, is you get to, you know, see wildlife. And anyway, it was kind of a fun, cool moment. Okay. Let's take a look at some possibilities now. All right, here's first cash. Confluence of signals here for sure. Under 30, over 30. Under the negative third ATR channel, over the negative third ATR channel, plus a V2. You could also somewhat call this a false breakout. I get False breakouts are best when you have a low with 2 lower highs to the left and 2 lower highs to the right. So, and over the 5-day EMA, that is also good. We're at 36.45, so not too extended on that. So this is definitely a possibility today. Starbucks. Well, we do have a return to value trade. We're above the 1 ATR channel. We came into the value zone. We've had 1 day of sideways motion. We had a false breakout to the downside, reverse back up. So it is a, in this case, it would be a higher low V2. It did go under 50, over 50. I'm a little concerned about that 50-day moving average that's sitting right above. Let's take a look at the weekly. You know, here, last week we got right about to the halfway mark of the big down bar, which is a little concerning. It did trigger a V2 intrabar earlier. It's not anymore. Looks like if you were to buy it today, you would get a dividend, but that's not free money because the amount of the dividend, which is 41 cents, will basically you will get, but the price will go down 40 cents. I don't know. I'm concerned about this downward sloping 50-day moving average, to be honest with you. LMT. Nice strong break back above the 200-day moving average. That's for sure. Over 50 RSI. I don't like buying lower lows that break back above the 200. I mean, they're okay. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly, we had the big bar up. We did hold halfway from a Fibonacci standpoint. Here's the 50%. We did come down, test it. Now we're back over that. That is also good. It's a little high for me, though. It's above the 1 ATR channel. If you're interested in buying LMT, be aware that the bid-ask spread is pretty high on Lockheed Martin. Right now it's 14-cent spread. That's kind of a big spread. All right, we'll revisit that. Massey. Rejection of the 100-day moving average. Nice V2 back up in the value zone. It's a 47.13 RSI. We have the 20 and the 50 right here. Doesn't mean it can't break through there, but you kind of have to look at this, you know, with kind of a your best guess and with reason to go, okay, we have two major moving averages right above us. We have the 50 RSI right above us. It wasn't a false breakout to the downside or anything like that. I think I'm going to let that one go. Who knows? This one could just go skyrocketing, but oh yeah. If you look at the weekly, see the big bar, the big down bar we had last week. See how we're right at 50%? This was a big down bar. We've rallied back to 50%. So that's a Fibonacci number. That makes me realize I'm definitely going to pass on that. Workday, higher low V2. It has already rejected the 50 RSI. If intraday it's rejected the 50 RSI and closed back below, for that reason I wouldn't buy it. IEX, higher low V2, but you know, this is a good example. Look, we came back down into the value zone, we bounced, we made a lower high. See, this is lower than here. If you make a lower high, I like to wash this out before. So really what I'd be looking for in IDX would be a false breakout to the downside with the V1 right down about here. Goldman Sachs, I traded that today. So listen, I just talked about Lockheed Martin. I don't like to buy breakbacks above the 200-day moving average if it comes from a lower low. It looks like we've rejected the 50-day moving average. I would much rather have it come back down and take a higher low break above the 200-day moving average. And also, you know, the 520 crossover is a good back-tested approach. I am going to wait for a higher low break back above the 200 and or a 520 crossover before I take this. And, you know, I have FAS, right, which is triple leverage financials. So if I add Goldman Sachs, I'm just going to have extra financials and have more correlation. You know, it does back test well with the close back above the 200, a close under and close back over. And the risk to reward's fairly good. But again, I already have FAST, so that's why I'm going to pass on this one. ZM. Nice big strong day today, but just too high for me up here. Nike, huge day. It's a V2, but it's a great V2 and a 520 crossover, all sorts of stuff. But the risk to reward doesn't make sense to me. If it came back down to about halfway, you know, then it would give me a better risk to reward. But as is now, it's too extended. It's too chasey. Dexcom up $6.80 today, but just, you know, too high for me. MACD is positive, which is good. 2.8 rejected the 2 ATR channel on the weekly, so I don't like that one as much. PTON, this is just too high for me. It looks like earnings. This says earnings. I don't know whether or not we really have earnings. I haven't checked this, but it's just too high for me to buy up here. XLV, earlier it was a V2, but it was with a gap and too high. Paycom, huge day, 5.6%. Now listen, you know, this is the type of V2 you would have wanted to buy intrabar right about here when the risk to reward. But if you're, you know, like majority of the time on my day trades, I'll buy intrabar, but on my end of day trades, I usually wait till the end of the day. And again, this now has already rejected the 50-day moving average. If I was in it here, if I had bought intraday when this V2 triggered, I would be getting out here because it rejected the 50. So, you know, nice signal and everything. MACD crossed over 50, but just too extended. That's what I'm saying. There are confluences of signals here, but even though if you have a good confluence of signals, it still doesn't mean you can just go piling in, because you have to analyze the risk to reward, and it doesn't make sense to me here. JP Morgan, another V2, but again, it's already rejected the 50-day moving average, so I'm going to pass on JP Morgan. NUVA, this is a tricky one because this went under the 30, over the 30. Let me make sure it went under the 30, or it bounced right at the 30. 30.13, wow. Buyer stepped in right at the 30, amazing, huh? So bounced at the 30, under the third, over the third. I just don't think it's enough. I was discussing this with Kamal earlier. This is such a big down move. Okay, so we get a bounce, but I would be very surprised if we could just overcome this huge amount of supply that we had in here. I am going to let this one go. If we had a double bottom with the bullish divergence, false breakout to the downside, something like that, but just more confluences. And I don't like to buy into huge, big down moves like that. NTUS, under 30, over 30. This one I like better than NUVA. Under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third. But this guy here, this skyscraper bar down here, concerns me. So, I mean, it does offer a good risk to reward ratio. There's no doubt about that. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly has a double bottom with the bullish divergence. Here we have a low, deep MACD bars. We rallied, made some green. We are lower now with a little red MACD, definitely less than 50% of this. So you know, the setups there on the weekly, it's I mean, that makes it a little bit better, but I'm just going to pass. EPZM, again, yesterday we had a huge big down bar, and today we rallied right to about 50% of that bar. That was about all she wrote. So, you know, when you have a big down bar like that and you have a rally right into the 50% mark, that's generally where it will stop, and it did stop. Oh, and lastly, EWZ. Yeah, I mean, it's a V2, but I just don't like it where the close is below the open. So let's take a little swing back around here. Steve says, I have heard of deer runs through my property. I have herds of deer runs through my property in Tennessee, sometimes even coyotes. Very nice deer pick. Thank you. It was a nice moment, you know, way up in the mountains and just looking behind, or I was looking up and the deer just looked behind me. It's like, hey, how's it going? So he scurried off, but that was kind of cool. Steve Burns says, wow, Beyond lost the 520 EMA crossover with 25 minutes to go. No entry for me unless it crosses. So Steve's looking at possibly doing Beyond Meat with the 520 crossover, which I saw yesterday, but I didn't realize. Well, I still see the 520 crossover, Steve. If my charts are correct, 132.74 over 131.86. All right. First cash is probably one of my favorite because we went under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third. There was some kind of, you know, it stopped going down as much. It wasn't straight down. It had found a little stability here. Closed over the 5-day. That's also a good sign that it closed over the 5-day. Starbucks, I think I'm going to let that one go. I don't like that 50-day moving average right above us. LMT is strong. I just think it's a little too far extended for me. MACD's positive. That's good. Massey, too much up here for me. And Workday. All right, so I think my two right now are First Cash and WDAY. Those are my two potentials. Let's see. Domino's Pizza has given back a lot of its gain, but still positive. J&J. Tell you what, I am going to go ahead just because I have a lot to do at the end of the day. I'm going to go ahead and sell Johnson & Johnson right now. Okay, so I have sold Johnson & Johnson, the rejection of the 1 ATR channel, the bearish close, the close below the open, even though it's still up on the day. And so I'm going to go ahead and just lock in profits on that. JCOM, that definitely looks like it's going to close below the 50. So I am going to sell JCOM right now. That was one heck of a nice trade, boy, I'll tell you. But, you know, under 30, over 30. But once you get up to the 50 RSI, that's acting as resistance. And it's exactly where it hit before. So I am just locking in profits there. And like I said, I just sold Johnson & Johnson. Hit 2 profit targets up here. So I'm very grateful for that. It's one of the reasons I like to take profit targets when I have them, but this is a bearish bar. It rejected the 1 ATR channel, and it's closing below the open. So with all that being said, I'm just going ahead and locking in profits. So it looks like Frank, Gary, David, and Bob still have this. All right, so I sold JCOM, sold Johnson & Johnson, Stitch Fix. I think I'll just keep that one. It hasn't done anything too crazy. It's inside bar. And Domino's Pizza, unfortunately, came off of its high, but it's still fine. All right, so I sold Johnson & Johnson, and I sold JCOM. FAS, 2 profit targets there, but that one's fine. Closes below the open. We haven't closed below any previous day's low. So, as far as new positions today, first cash does look fairly decent. Under 30, over 30. V2, under the negative third, over the negative third. If I do buy this today, my stop will be here. Close below halfway of the washout bar. This is the washout bar of the V2. It would basically be any close below today's low, the way that it's set up. And currently, Workday has rejected the 50 RSI and has rejected the 50-day. So in that case, I definitely would not buy that. So it looks like to me, first cash is probably the most likely one for me today. And so Steve, as Beyond Meat is right now, you're considering buying that with the 520 cross, right? I wonder if we have different charts, Steve, because I show the 520 on Beyond Meat crossed. All right, so what do we have? We have 7 minutes. All right, so like I said, I did sell Johnson & Johnson. Rejection of the 1 ATR channel, reversal, locked in profits there. I already sold JCOM. That one's all taken care of. Adobe hit the 1 profit target. Ooh, Goldman Sachs rallying pretty strong here at the end of the day, isn't it? But again, I already have fast, so I don't think I'm going to add to that. All right, so FCFS. So we have 5 minutes to go here. You know what? Let's see. Oh, okay. You know what? I am also going to pass on first cash. I'm going to pass on it. I don't like the look of these intraday bars, these 5-minute bars. There's just not a lot of volume here. You can tell by these kind of stilted bars. and no movement on one 5-minute bar. So yeah, correction, I am not going to buy first cash because of that reason. I don't like how those the volume is intra-bar there. I would consider workday if it can close above the 50 RSI and the 50-day moving average. So no FCFS for me. I will be looking at workday at the close here if it can close above both the 50 and the 50-day moving average and the 50 RSI. Hey, give me one sec. Sorry. I can see the water guy coming. Sorry. Sorry about that. 2 interruptions in one day. Okay, so 183.98. So this does look like a potential here, though. This does look, it is above the 50-day moving average, and it is currently above the 50 RSI. So if this holds at the end of the day, I will be buying it. So Steve says, looks like we do have different readings. Huh, that's interesting. Okay, I'll look into that later. So if workday does close above the 50, which it is above the 50 currently, 183.98, and it's 184.14, and it is 50.35. Okay, so about a minute and a half. Ooh, IWM's making a new high on the day. Congratulations, Steve. Goldman Sachs making new high on the day here. Domino's Pizza's picking up a little bit, which is good. So I'm just looking at workday to see if it closes above the 50 RSI with this higher low V2 rejection of the -1 ATR channel below. So about 30 seconds. Ooh, it's going to be touch and go. It's 50.2. All right, looks okay. Okay. I am in workday. So listen, if anybody has any questions about anything I discussed today, if you have any new entries or exits for me, please let me know. This is the time to do it. Before that, just real quick, just want to put in my quick little daily plug and remind everybody that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I've been trading for over 24 years. I have worked with 4 really great traders one-on-one over the last 20 years. Stephen Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams. I studied one-on-one with each one of these gentlemen. In the course that I teach, everything that I've learned from these gentlemen and from all my own experience, this is what I teach in the course. The course is 15 hours. It's 5 sessions, one-on-one with me, 3 hours each session. It's $1,000, but I think it's definitely well worth the money, for the attention you get and the hours that are involved. But I've had really good success with my students, and I really like to teach, and I put a lot into it because I want each one of my students, when they're done, to be a good trader, right? I mean, that's the whole idea. So if you've been thinking about it, please send me an email. The email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter at Gossett Trading on Twitter. And if you do contact me, I'll just write you back, say, hey, how's it going? Let's set up a Skype call. The Skype call is free. There's no obligation. I won't ask you if you want to take the course. I just want to talk to you, get a feel for your experience in trading, your goals, the challenges you've had. And then it's a good time for you to ask me any questions about the course as well. And when we're done with the call, I'll say, hey, it's great. Think about it. If you're interested in taking the course with me, you can email me back and we'll set it up. So there's that. And then secondly, if you could hit the thumbs up button before you leave today, I would really appreciate it. It helps the channel, helps grow the channel. A lot of people out there need help. And especially new traders, as far as learning some good trading principles, and that's what I try to teach here. So if you could hit the thumbs up button before you get out of here, I would really, really, really appreciate that. Okay, so Glenn says, I added RCII. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so that's a new one. All right, RCII. Okay, so Glenn added it at $31. $31 even? 31 even. Okay. Oops. All right, got you again. Oh, before we get on to those, let me find my entries here. So SPY 332.11 and work day 184.06. $332.11. Okay, that's a SPY trade, and then workday. At 184.06. Okay, those are mine. And Johnson & Johnson, I am out of. And JCOM, I am out of as well. But I'll put it over there because I don't know if everybody's out of that. Okay, so we have Glenn Yeah. We have Glenn. Steve says, I'm long Beyond Meat here. Okay. BYND. I wonder why we were so off on our 132.79. Okay. Well, I don't know if Quad's still in that or not, so I'm gonna put Steve Burns on here. Okay, Brian sold XPO. Okay. So XPO is gone. Sold JCOM. Okay. Sold LEN. Okay. Evan says he closed Cisco. Okay, good. Profitable, nice. JCOM. Kamal is out of JCOM. Oh, Kamal, Karen, Brian, Gary, and David. Sometimes when I switch the charts around it. Okay. Added workday. All right, we have Kamal and FCFS is Kamal. Right. Steve says, I was looking at the Beyond Meat moving averages wrong. They were always a crossover. You were right. Oh, okay. All right. So Steve says, for some reason I thought they were both 131 handles. Too many charts. Yeah, right. Right, I hear you. Okay, so listen, I mean, you're in the crossover at a much better price, and the crossover's still in place, right? All right, JCOM. Okay, so Karen's out of JCOM. Nice trade, Karen. Good to see you as well. David. So I still have Brian M and Gary M in JCOM. Does that sound correct? And Bob is in Okay, here we go. And Bob. Bob M. All right, well, good day today. Good day today all the way around. All right, so I'm still in Domino's. Added WDAY today, workday. Stitch Fix. Couldn't hold on to the green, but still okay. There's no damage done to the chart here. Inside day. SPY, bought the overnight SPY trade again. Goldman Sachs. Why do I have that on here? Fast, great day today. 3.96%, 2 profit targets, and Adobe, 1 profit target. Dave Lincoln, hey, what's going on, bud? Hey guys, can't stay, but just want to say hi. Hey Dave, good to see you. Listen, if you have not checked out Dave's channel, Famous Dave's over on YouTube. He is a VIX specialist, really great guy, very knowledgeable with the VIX. Check out his channel, subscribe to it, and watch. He has great videos. I watch him every time I see him. But thank you so much, Dave, for coming. Good seeing you, my friend. And good short on Kodak, if I remember correctly. Dave said, I made a mistake. I'm still in JCOM. Oh, well, Dave, once I take it off, I can't put it back on. Just kidding. All right. Dave is right back into JCOM. I want a false breakout on the downside, V1, V2 on Beyond Meat with the 520 in place. All right, so that's what Kamal is waiting for. Glenn says Dow had a false breakout to the downside. All right, that's Delta, right? Yeah. Yeah, I remember Kamal Scanner. Kamal Scanner picked this up. I didn't buy it, but this was the location, right? Here's a V2 with the false breakout to the downside. The reason I passed on this one was because it rejected the 1 ATR channel above me. That's the reason that got me out. But Delta Airlines did not care what my analysis was, so that would have been a good trade. Brian says I'm out of JCOM. Okay. Good. So Dave is the lone survivor in JCOM. David says, how's the weekly look for JCOM? I mean, it looks okay. I mean, if you're just going off the weekly, we had the V2 last week. We're continuing up. We're above the 5-week EMA, which is positive, not getting close to the 50. So, on the weekly, I think it looks okay. What do you think, David? I mean, this looks fine on the weekly, but I was taking the trade on the daily, and that was pretty clear with the rejection of the 50. But I hope that goes up for you, bud, tomorrow. All right. Wow. What a day, huh? Thanks, Dave Lincoln, for showing up. It's good seeing you. Kamal says JCOM has earnings Monday. So my chart says 8:14, so it is not correct. Oh man. So Kamal just confirmed JCOM has earnings Monday. So keep that in mind, Dave. And I still have Gary M here, but I don't know if Gary was here today. Let's see what gold did. Gold was looking a little toppy. I mean, with the earlier in the day. Let's see what did it look like. Yeah, that's still a little toppy. I mean, it was up on the day, but similar with Johnson & Johnson. Look, it closed below its open. It went way up, rejected those levels, came back down. I think Gary still has this. But that does look a little... Look at the volume today and the bearish bar. To me, that looks like distribution. That looks like people were selling into that last gap. Could be wrong, but so SPY is down 50 cents. After hours, workday is down 6 cents. VIX up. Uh-oh. Qs are down. Apple's down. So it looks like we're down a little after hours. All right. Well, pretty good. I mean, from all the positions I was looking at today here, looks pretty good. I mean, there were a couple that were down today, but obviously more up than down on a day where you are up 300 points, but so I got rid of Johnson & Johnson, I got rid of JCOM, I kept Domino's, added WDAY today as my new one, decided to keep Stitch Fix because it just wasn't any, I mean, it was down 7 cents, but you know, the relative strength was bad, but it still is holding the 200, still is holding halfway of the V1 that got me into the trade. Frank says the overnight SPY trade makes a lot of sense, especially with the Fed put. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm in the long term, the long run with the SPY trade, with the overnight SPY trade. I like holding. I mean, I've mentioned this before. It's like I'm just a buyer and holder of the SPY, just like in somebody's 401k. But the only difference is I'm buying it overnight instead of during the day. You've heard me say it about 13,000 times, right? About why I buy the SPY and sell it at the close. All right. Well, if you have any other questions or jokes or poems or haikus or anything else, please let me know. If there's any questions I can answer or any additions or subtractions, anything like that, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to put on my hiking boots, go up, see if I can see my friend the deer again, see if he's hanging out. Go for a nice hike. Hey, I don't know, has anybody watched that show Tread on Netflix? That guy that took that bulldozer and he fortified it and he went around the town all crazy, man. I remember back when that happened. I remember the news. But if you're looking for an interesting documentary to watch on Netflix, that's a good one. Tread, T-R-E-D. I think that's how you spell Tread. Brian says, any reason you wouldn't consider the Qs overnight? That's a good question, Brian. I know Steve had sent me the results for the Qs, and I'm almost 100% sure that the Qs were profitable just like the SPY, because I know QLD is the double leverage Qs, yeah, that back tested well. SSO, which is double leverage SPY, also back tested well. So yeah, that's a good point, Brian. I'm sure it would be very, very similar, although I don't have the stats in front of me, but from memory, the Qs have back tested well. Oh, Kamal says, Brian, I think the Qs test similar for the overnight. Yeah, just similar to what I just said. Man, I'm so glad for Bob on this Nordstrom trade. Look at this trade. Nice V2, false breakout. Man, this thing is up how much from entry? 9.27%, Bob. Fantastic. Really, really great. Okay, well, I think that's a wrap for today. If no one else has anything else, please try to go out and do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile, wave, hello, be courteous, be nice. And ideally, if you could do that for one person a day and one animal a day, that would be ideal and will definitely help your trading if you do both of those. Kamal says, nice trade, Bob. 100%. Really glad to see that, Bob. That's a monster. That's what I call a monster trade. And fantastic. Nice setup, too. Nice setup. All right. Well, listen, if you could hit the thumbs up button, if you don't mind, before you get out of here, I would appreciate that. And again, if you're thinking about lessons, I think you're going to enjoy them. I think you're going to like them. I think you're going to learn a lot. So send me an email, description in the video, or send me a message on Twitter, and we'll set up that Skype call. Like I said, it's free. It's not a sales call, and it'd be fun to put a face with the name as well. So congratulations, everybody, on some really nice trades today. Be good, be safe, have a good rest of your day, and hopefully we will see you tomorrow during the last hour of the market. And Katie's over there looking at me, and I'm pretty sure she's saying, tell everyone hi from me, the Katie girl. All right? Okay, that's it. Take care, everyone. Have a good day now. Bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.